Well, hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't know if you've been following this channel up until now, or if you're a new member or new watcher. I think that's probably what you're called. What do you call a watcher? If you watch the videos, you must be a watcher. My name's Jeff the Fish, and this is the latest installment in my story as I'm releasing my new album, my first solo album. It's out on the 12th of May. It's called Jeff the Fish Lefroy and His Misadventures, and well, I hope you will like it. We're going to talk about something a bit later on, a subject that's related to the album and a problem, in fact, that I've encountered while I've been putting this album together, and but we'll talk about that in a second. For the time being, don't forget that the first single from the album will be out on the 4th of April, and that's called Gotta Move. If you've been following the channel, you've probably seen some hints of some clips of the video that's coming up, but that will be out on the 4th of April. There's going to be a couple more singles released before the album itself comes out on the 12th of May, and we'll be doing our album release concert with the band on the 11th of May, at the Wiener Shop in Perpignan in the south of France. So yeah, lots of great things happening. The CDs are being made as we speak. I should be getting sent some of those in the next few weeks. I'll do another post when they arrive, proudly showing them off, no doubt. Here's hoping that everything's good and there won't be any flaws or problems with that. And of course, it's also released digitally, so you can find it on all your favorite platforms. Anyway, the thing I wanted to talk to you about is related to the album and the process. I put together an album. I wanted to put together an album. It's a blues album because blues is basically where I'm at, where I'm coming from. Musically, when I pick up a guitar or my harmonica or whatever, the blues is what I play. But the blues is a very broad subject and broad genre of music, I think is the best way to put it. And I didn't want to make an album where all the tracks sound the same, because when you listen to most albums, as you know, I've been a radio presenter for the last 10 years, so I've been sent an awful lot of music from people who want to be played on my show. But usually when you get an album, all the music is the same. So all the tracks are similar in their makeup, and you get an album which is very nice. It's an hour's worth of great music, but it's all in the same vein and all very similar. And I remember when I was younger, the albums that I liked the most were the albums that had some variation. You know, they had slow songs, fast songs, a bit of genre differentiation, different things in the album, so you get a full listening experience and also a full idea of what and who the artist is, what they're about, and all of that. So when I put this album together, well, I must confess, when I put the album together and wrote the songs, I wasn't really thinking about making an album. I was just thinking about writing some good music and some great songs, and above all, I wanted to put together something that I myself am proud of. As you may know, I've had quite an extensive career in the music business in one way or another, the alternative underground, the music business, of course. And I've made a lot of records with various groups, and I've been a guitarist in some groups, a harmonica player in some other groups, a singer in some other groups, an orchestra leader in some other groups. But ultimately, when people come around my house or whatever and they say, "Oh, you've been making music for years, play us something that you've done." It's always difficult for me because all of these projects that I've done in the past, there's flaws in them. And now the person who is listening to the music may not notice that or care. They might just think it's really good and they like it, or maybe they don't like it, who knows. But for me, in all of this music, there's always been something I've gone, God, I could have done that better. That could have been, I wish I'd just spent a bit more time on it, or I wish I'd worked it out, or, or just I could have done it better, really. So my objective when I made this album was to make a collection of songs that I am perfectly happy with, so that if somebody asked me to play them my music, I would be able to play this album and be totally confident and totally happy with absolutely everything about it. And I've achieved that, and that's what this album is to me. Of course, you may like it, you may not like it, I don't know. But to me, this album is very much me, very much my individualness. It's very much my style and all the rest. But it's also a very broad album. There's some rock, blues rock. There's some funky stuff. There's quite a lot of jazz inflection. I've been involved in the jazz scene for quite a long time, so there's a lot of jazziness to it. It's rock or blues or whatever you want to call it, but it's got a jazzy flavour to it. And also the majority of the musicians who I invited to come and guest on the album with me are or have had some training in jazz, so there's that element to it as well. There's also a track which is almost a country track. There's all sorts of different flavours and different styles in this album. Now you might be thinking, that's great, and I'm thinking, that's great, that's what I want. But one of the things that I noticed when I was shopping the album around trying to find a label, which of course I unfortunately didn't find. I have ended up having to put this album out myself. I've got distribution and everything, but it's all a self put together project. I'm doing all the work myself, funding it all myself. I'm going to no doubt lose a small fortune of money doing it, but I'm very proud of the album, so I want it to come out, and above all I really want is for people to hear it and hopefully like it. But the response from record labels and from promotion companies and people who I'm trying to get to help me put this album out is always the same. It's they'll say, I've had responses ranging from it's too heavy to it's too light to there's too many guitars, there's not enough guitars, it's too jazzy, it's too rocky. And everyone seems to pick on some aspect of the album, one or two songs, and for them the whole album is that, which isn't the case, because it's a very broad and eclectic album, so there's lots of different styles on there, all integral to me and my personality, of course. And this is an interesting thing. I'm actually interested if you could post in the comments below what your thoughts are on this subject. Do you like, when you buy an album, do you like it to all be similar sounding, different songs of course and all of that, but in a similar style, or do you like to buy an album and have a varied musical experience? And what are your thoughts on that? I'd be very interested to know if you would like to post whatever you think in the comments about that, because it's an interesting subject, and I've found that putting together my eclectic album, and it's not as eclectic as that. It's not like there's a heavy metal track 1 minute and a country and western track the next minute, and then a jazz funk track the next. It's not that broad, but it seems to be broad enough to confuse a lot of people, and people don't really know where to place it. I mean, for me, it's very obvious. It is a blues album, but obviously, I'm not black. I'm not American. I'm Irish of origin. I've lived in London for years. I've lived in Spain, and now I live in France. And the blues that I make is very much, of course, influenced by all the great British blues bands of the 60s and 70s. That's where I got my first taste of the blues, and that's obviously my most direct influence. Of course, I absolutely love, I should say, Luther Allison, Freddie King, Albert Collins, all those guys. They're my heroes. But I came to the blues through the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and all of that kind of, the Beatles even. All of those kind of groups is what led me to this music in the beginning as a young kid in Ireland, listening to the radio, where at the time most of it was country and western, to be honest. And music was always been my first love. It's what I'm all about. But of course, I've lived a long time since then, and I've been through lots of different musical scenes. You know, I was a punk for a while, and I've been through the mod scene, I've been through the soul scene, the jazz scene, all sorts of different things, a myriad of different styles of music, and every one of those places and things that I've been through has left its mark in what I do now. So obviously the album has all of those influences in it. I describe it as the blues. You may listen to it and go, "There's no blues in there at all," but there is, because musically and in its musical structure and format and the way it's put together, that's what it is. Anyway, I'm digressing, but I would be really interested to know whether you like albums that are eclectic and different, with lots of different styles of music and different songs and different flavours, different aspects of the artist on them, or if when you buy an album you want to hear something that is more coherent, more solidly one style of music. So please do leave a comment below and let me know what you think about that, because it's a question that I never really thought about when I started this project, and now I find myself confronted with it, and I'm wondering where to go with it. I mean, should my next album all be in one style, or should I continue on the next album trying to cover as many different styles as I possibly can? I don't know. What do you think is the best thing to do? Anyway, that's it for this week. Please do click like, subscribe, hit the little bell the little bell sign below there. That will make you get notifications of when the next video comes out, and there's going to be lots more stuff coming. So please, do subscribe to this, like it, and above all, if you, because I'm just starting out, this is a new channel, you'll see that I haven't got the hundreds of millions of subscribers that other YouTube channels have. I haven't got the high technology cameras, I haven't got the super lighting and all of that stuff. You know, this is all very homemade and just me doing it roots, but there's only me and my band, so this is how we have to do it. But I think it functions and I think it works. I think if you want to do something, you can do it on whatever kit you happen to have. It doesn't need to be the flashiest, most Hollywood production. So please, yes, do click like and subscribe. And above all, if you do like this and you're interested in this, or you think people would be interested in what I'm doing, please share it. Because by sharing it, that's how it will reach more people, and the more people we reach, for me, that means the more people will hear what I'm doing, and really that would be helping me out a million times, because that's what I really want. I want as many people as I can to hear this music that I'm so proud of. Anyway, yes, that's it from me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.